Hey there, pirates! Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. In Elbaf, we discover the existence of the forest god, and believe it or not, the forest god worshipped in Elbaf is Chopper, and you'll see his awakening in today's video. Chapter 1138 of One Piece, titled The Harley, brought shocking revelations about the mythology of Ichiro Oda's world. Among the key discoveries, the Harley text confirmed the existence of several deities mentioned throughout the series, such as the sea god, forest god, and earth god, in addition to the already known sun god, Nika. Although only Nika has been directly incorporated into the story so far, the figure of the forest god has been gaining more attention among fans. This mysterious being, scarcely explored until now, was revealed as the creator of the devil fruits, raising many questions about its true nature. Despite limited concrete information, several clues throughout the series suggest a possible connection between the forest god and Tony Chopper, hinting that the Straw Hat Pirate's little doctor may, in fact, be a hidden manifestation of this deity. Let's start from the beginning, planting the seed of this theory grounded in the manga's reality. Chopper enters the story in chapter 134 on Drum Island as a reindeer who ate the Hito no Mi, gaining human intelligence and the ability to transform into various forms. He is the Straw Hat's doctor, with a heart bigger than the sunny itself and a passion for saving lives that even makes Zoro crack a smile. From the start, Chopper shows a connection to nature that goes beyond normal. In chapter 149, he uses his reindeer instincts to sniff out medicinal herbs from miles away, healing wounds that even Dr. Kureha, his mentor, thought impossible. This isn't just talent. It's as if the forest speaks to him, whispering secrets only a creature of the wild can understand. Now, jump to Elbaf, which explodes in the manga starting in chapter 1126. This giant island is covered in forests so dense they seem alive, with trees that move and roots that attack those unwelcome. In chapter 1130, an ancient mural depicts a mythical figure, a sacred deer with branching antlers, protecting wildlife and healing the land. Who else could it be? Chopper, with his antlers and medical talent, fits this myth perfectly. The theory is simple but powerful. Chopper's Hito. Hito no Mi isn't just any Zoan, it's a special, perhaps even mythical fruit that will awaken in Elbaf, transforming him into a living god capable of commanding entire forests and healing the planet itself. Let's dig deeper into Chopper's fruit to understand how it could be the key to this destiny. In chapter 139, he explains that the Hito no Mi gave him human consciousness, but preserved his animal instincts, like sensing danger or tracking plants. This is already a sign that his fruit is more complex than it seems. In chapter 301 in Skypia, Chopper finds medicinal herbs on a floating island just by scent, something even Robin, with all her knowledge, cannot do. This is more than instinct, it's a supernatural connection with nature, as if he were a living link between the animal and plant worlds. Now, in chapter 1044, when Luffy awakens as Nika, the sun god, Vegapunk reveals that some Zoan fruits carry divine wills. What if Chopper's fruit is a Hito no Mi model forest god, a terrestrial counterpart to Nika? In chapter 1069, Vegapunk explains that devil fruits are crystallized human desires. Chopper's desire from chapter 134 has always been to heal the world, which aligns perfectly with Elbaf's legend. In chapter 1135, an elder giant speaks of the forest god, a being who not only heals bodies, but restores devastated lands. Chopper, with his rumble balls introduced in chapter 149, has already pushed his fruit to insane levels, like Monster Point in chapter 407, where he becomes a giant beast. But what if his true awakening goes further, transforming him into a guardian who commands entire forests? Elbaf is the fertile ground where this power will bloom. In chapter 1126, the Straw Hats arrive on the island and find forests that seem alive, with moving trees and labyrinthine roots. In chapter 1128, Chopper senses a vibration in the woods, as if the plants recognize him. He's not imagining things. By chapter 1132, he communicates with an ancient tree that responds with fruits that instantly heal wounds. This is a clear sign Chopper is connected to the soul of Elbaf. In chapter 1140, he discovers the Root of Dawn, a legendary herb that only he can harvest because the plant chooses its guardian. Here, the theory takes root. Chopper's Hito no Mi is beginning to awaken, reacting to Elbaf's mystical environment. In chapter 1145, during an attack by leftover egghead drones, Chopper enters Monster Point and unintentionally causes vines to erupt from the ground to protect giant children. Vines? When has he ever done that? It's his awakening sprouting like a seed breaking through the soil. In chapter 1150, Loki, Elbaf's rebellious prince, looks at Chopper and says, "You are more than a reindeer, little dear. Feel the forest." This ignites a spark in our doctor, who begins training with Dory and Brogy, the legendary giants of Little Garden. In chapter 1153, they reveal the Forest Oath, a ritual where a warrior of pure heart connects with sacred trees, gaining the power to control nature. Chopper, who in chapter 140 cried because he wanted to save even his enemies, is the perfect candidate for this. In chapter 1155, he tests this power. Giant roots rise from the ground, blocking an attack from the Gorosei, who invade Elbaf seeking Void Century relics. His awakening is blossoming. Chopper doesn't just transform, he becomes the conductor of a green symphony. What is the true power of the forest god? Let's imagine the peak of this transformation. In chapter 1126, we speculate that Chopper reaches a new form, Forest God Point. He grows into a colossal tree-like figure with antlers branching like limes, moss-covered skin, and eyes glowing like emeralds. He not only heals, but commands entire forests, creating root barriers, vines that trap fleets, and flowers that release healing pollen. In chapter 1120, Emu attempts to burn Elbaf with a black lightning strike. But Chopper, at the height of his awakening, causes the trees to form a living dome, absorbing the attack like it's a snack. This is more than medicine. It's the power of a god protecting all life. In chapter 1114, Vegapunk mentions that the Void Century was destroyed by weapons that devastated the world. Chopper, as the forest god, could be the key to healing this damage. In chapter 1115, he speaks of the submerged world. What if Chopper, with his power, makes forests rise again on submerged islands? In chapter 1120, he saves Elbaf from a Gorosei attack, making the forest grow in minutes, restoring devastated land. This power echoes Joy Boy's wish to save the world, which failed due to a lack of allies. Chopper, with the Straw Hats, has what Joy Boy did not, a family that amplifies his pure heart. Let's dig into past arcs to show that Chopper's destiny was always set. In chapter 29, at Little Garden, he senses the voice of the forest, guiding the Straw Hats along paths no one else can find. In chapter 272, in Skypia, he communicates with giant trees to find medicine, as if nature itself chooses him. In chapter 467, in Thriller Bark, Chopper uses poisonous plants against zombies, demonstrating an instinctive mastery of flora. In chapter 742, in Dressrosa, he protects civilians with a strength that seems larger than himself, as if the forest god were already whispering. In chapter 820, in Zoo, he heals the minks with local herbs, as if the island were guiding him directly. In chapter 902, in Whole Cake, he faces Big Mom's living forest, and the trees hesitate to attack him, a sign of respect from nature. In chapter 1066, post Wano, Shanks mentions a deer that guides the dawn when visiting Elbaf. And in chapter 1126, he gives Chopper a mystical herb that enhances his rumble ball, as if aware of his divine potential. Each arc plants a seed for this awakening, as if Oda had scattered green breadcrumbs from the very beginning. The crew is the fertilizer that makes this power grow. In chapter 1126, Luffy sees Chopper commanding vines and shouts, "You're like a jungle king, Chopper!" Zoro, in chapter 1128, trains with him to cut giant roots, while Sanji uses the heat of his kicks to activate healing pollen. Nami, in chapter 1130, uses her maps to guide Chopper through Elbaf's forests, and Usopp creates seed bullets that Chopper transforms into explosive trees. Robin, in chapter 1135, deciphers a poneglyph that speaks of the Green Guardian protecting the One Piece, suggesting that Chopper is essential for the final treasure. In chapter 1116, Vegapunk states that the One Piece is linked to the life of the planet, and who better to activate this than Chopper, the forest god? In chapter 1120, during Elbaf's climax, the Gorosei attempt to destroy the island, but Chopper, with his new power, creates an impenetrable forest, saving thousands. Emu, in the same chapter, fears this power because it represents the life he tried to erase. Chopper's path, with his medical skills and unique connection to nature, has always been set since the beginning of One Piece. His journey, which starts with the simple goal of healing, grows into something much greater, transcending his abilities as a doctor. In Elbaf, he finds the perfect ground for the awakening of his true power, a power that links man to God, the doctor to the guardian of the forest. Even though Chopper's journey began with the simple desire to heal, he now stands on the verge of becoming becoming a deity who protects the natural world, balancing life and death and guiding the planet's regeneration. The little reindeer who dreamed of saving lives may soon become the guardian of a renewed world, a forest god in all his glory. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.